Hello, my name is Yolanda Wilson and I represent Booze Supplies in this breach of contract claim today. On May 1st, Liquor Lose entered into a contract with Booze Supplies, a wine, beer, and liquor importer and distributor, for purchase of 50 cases of wine FOB Buyer Store delivery by June 1st. FOB stands for Free on Board or Freight on Board and is a designation that is used to indicate when liability and ownership of goods is transferred from seller to a buyer. FOB Buyer means that the seller, Booze, was responsible for transportation of the goods to Liquor Lose store. When the wine was delivered, 6 of the cases had a couple of broken bottles in them. Liquor Lose received the bottles on Friday, May 31st, a day before the final date on the contract, and emailed Booze that it was rejecting the whole shipment. There was a total of 1,200 bottles of wine that was delivered. There were 12 broken bottles. It is not the industry standard to reject 1,188 bottles of wine because 12 are broken. The shipping company's insurance will most likely pay for replacement costs of the broken bottles as well as the shipment of 12 more bottles as offered by Boo. The shipping company's insurance will not pay for the replacement and the return of 1,188 undamaged bottles of wine. Therefore, it would be reasonable to expect Liquor Lou to keep the undamaged delivered wines and pay for the order. The Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, offers guidelines on the fundamental obligations of the seller to tender goods that conform to the contract and comply with the contractual requirements regarding delivery. The fundamental obligations of the buyer are to accept and pay for conforming goods pursuant to UCC 2-301. Booze has offered to replace the 12 bottles of wine that were damaged. Sellers have a right to cure pursuant to UCC 2-508 on one-shot contracts. Section 2-508 has a one-way provision. This option is for the seller to cure and exists when the buyer rejects the goods and the time for the seller's performance is not expired. Here, Booze offered to replace the bottles the day before the contracted date of final delivery. And when the buyer rejected the goods, the seller had reasonable grounds to believe that the goods would be acceptable because they had no damage. Here, Booze had reasonable grounds to believe the 1,188 bottles of undamaged wine would be accepted by Liquor Lose. To effectuate this right, the seller needs only to provide a seasonable notification of its intent to cure and then make a cure within a contracted time, pursuant to UCC 2-508. Here, Booze offered to cure immediately upon notification of the 12 broken bottles. Article 2 prevents the buyer from rejecting the non-conforming performance if a cure is possible, pursuant to 2-612. To be entitled to revoke acceptance, a buyer must establish that a nonconformity substantially impairs the value of the goods to the buyer. Here there were only 12 out of 1,200 bottles of wine damaged. So there was no substantial change in the condition of the goods other than the one caused by the nonconformity. And here, Booze reasonably assumed that the nonconformity would be cured and offered to cure the nonconformity. Here, Boo offered to send 12 bottles back to cure the order. Neither party wants to litigate this dispute, and there is an easy cure to replace the 12 broken bottles. My hope is that Liquor Lou looks at the facts and realizes that the shipping company will not pay to pick up or replace 1,188 bottles of wine that are not damaged. It would be unfair and outside of the industry standard to return the entire order since it substantially conforms to the original order. My hope is that we can work together towards an agreement that is fair to all parties by accepting the replacement bottles and retaining the received order of non-damaged bottles. I look forward to working on solutions with you and hope that we can continue a wonderful business relationship. Thank you.